Hey everybody, this is Camila Wilson with EarthThreads International, and I'm currently in an apartment in Kathmandu, Nepal. My friend Sunkat, where's Sunkat? Sunkat, where? There you are. My friend Sunkat over here was very kind to let me connect to his Wi-Fi and charge my phone while I'm getting ready to go to the visa center for the Republic of the Chinese People's Republic. Yeah, the Chinese embassy. But it's actually interesting because there's three locations here in Kathmandu. You have the Chinese People's Republic, the embassy of the Republic of the People, or something like this, and then you have the Chinese embassy, like just the Chinese embassy. There's two places: Chinese embassy, the People's Republic of China, and then you have the Visa Center at the Rising Mall. So I was directed by the agency that I work for and the Chinese embassy, the guy on the phone, he said to go to the Visa Center at the Rising Mall. So I have not been able to update on a live video in about a week now. I've been transitioning. I'm not at the hotel that I was anymore, and it took me about a week to figure out how to connect to the Wi-Fi at the hotel I'm staying at. The family is very, very kind. They're very traditional. Newari, I think they are, if I'm not mistaken. I'm learning about the different groups of people in Nepal, and I've also been spending some time with the Hare Krishna movement here in Tamil, getting to know some of the devotees that are here from Russia, that were here from China and from India. It has been extraordinary. It's been quite the international experience. What I would like to update a little bit about is something that's very, very overwhelming for me because it's a huge step forward with EarthThreads International, but at the same time, it's still just in its visionary stages. What I'm hoping to see in the near future is the 2024 annual project here in Kathmandu, and then preparing for the 2025 project with Infant Angels Charity Organization in Uganda. And I'm actually finding myself collaborating with really big names and figures that are just like me, but honestly, even more so, even more engaged, more inspiring. And really what's more important to me is the connection that these people have in order to make these projects happen. It's not just the motivation and the passion that I'm seeing in these different volunteers and different individuals, but it's also the will that is going into connecting and making those connections via WhatsApp, via StreamYard, via YouTube, via Instagram and Facebook. I'm seeing so many people doing the same project, so many AI artists, writers here in Kathmandu, people that, you don't even see on the camera because they don't get that publicity that they're looking for. But you know what? That's why we are out here in the world. When we feel that calling in our heart to go out into the world, to meet new people, that you feel like you have something to bring to the world. The reason why is because you're being called. And when you feel that calling and you answer it, and then you find yourself there in the position where all of a sudden you're meeting those people, you're seeing their faces, you're getting to know their names, you're hearing about their projects and how it's in alignment with yours, that is where the change happens. That is where the big money is made. You know what I mean? Where we can come together and come into our own power and be able to allocate the resources and the manpower and the willpower that we need to make the change happen in the world. So that was really inspiring for me to meet so many people here in Kathmandu. Just yesterday, I was speaking to a man that was really trying to inspire me, almost like a father, trying to inspire me and my friends about funding. So one thing that we can do is be funded by the local government here in Nepal. We can find ourselves funding projects. So for instance, one of the projects that I'm really looking forward to, the name is not mine, and I cannot disclose the ownership of the name yet, but it's not my trademark. It would be Guardians of the River, or River Guardians. We're not exactly sure which one we're going with next, but it's a part of what I would like to collaborate with as a cleanup Kathmandu project. So Kathmandu is actually a relatively clean environment. You have the shopkeepers and local communities that are very proactive about cleaning their own space. So specifically in the city, when you're in the city, in front of their shops, in front of their cafes and restaurants, every morning and every night, you will see them sweeping the area with this specific type of broom that I don't see here currently, but it's like anywhere you go in Kathmandu, you're going to see this broom. It's made out of thatch. It's like this straw thatch. Then you see them sweeping up the gutter near their restaurants. Sweet. Yes, Sweet. Do you have one? Yeah. Of course he has one. And it is so beautiful because out of the proactiveness and initiative of the people here. Yes, this one. Thank you. So this is what they look like. And not all of them are tied this way, but this is that kind of traditional broom that you'll see, and they will sweep up the thank you so much, the area in front of their restaurants or in their cafes, and then they bag up their trash. So people are trying to minimize the trash that you see on the road, at least here in the town. But the problem is that there's not a public trash or waste management service, and the ones that do exist are privately owned. So you see that neighborhoods, I'm not exactly sure if the neighborhoods are like the, deed oriented ones that we have in the United States, but you see that communities, like for example in the neighborhood that I'm living in right now, they will walk up to the the company, to the truck that's parked in this very narrow road, and all the families from the apartments will come downstairs with their bags of trash and toss it up. This is a private service. But a lot of times the trash in more impoverished areas or lower income areas, more populated areas, the trash just winds up near the river, and it actually ends up in the river. So then you see this river, this literal edges of trash along the river. And so a big part of what I would like to do to help countries like Kathmandu, like Guatemala, and really, really all around the world is setting up trash cans, setting up a trash system that will collect trash, collect the waste so that it doesn't end up getting in the river. So a big part of cleaning up Kathmandu would be involving cleaning up the river and installing what I would like to get in contact with the University of Houston downtown would be is getting in contact with some of the engineering groups in the universities and other successful organizations around the world, like in Bali, like in Europe, and set up trash collection systems in the rivers of Guatemala, of Kathmandu, in not only the urban areas, but in areas that are in strategic smoke in the air, in strategic points around the river in order to prevent trash from going into the oceans. Of course, if you've been following me on Instagram or on Snapchat, you know that one of the projects that I would like to work on are are volunteer organized expeditions up mountains, into mountain regions, but also into the open ocean, as well as into uninhabited islands. So this is a big project. I would need to talk to several people in order to organize this. This is down the line, but I think that that can start by working inland on the rivers and then getting to know the neighborhoods like we have in the United States, well mapped local areas and districts, then speaking to the jurisdiction, speaking to the government of that area, and then implementing practices and resources for people to be able to manage their waste. That means trash cans in public parks, trash cans on the sides of the road. It means providing a public service like picking up trash waste and things like that, and also keeping the river clean by installing these trash nets that will pick up trash as it is flowing down the river, which would also involve actually cleaning up the river itself. So, sorry, I do not handle cigarette smoke very well. That's okay, Sankat. And so, what I'm hoping to do in 2024 is to organize a project cleanup where we have, there's 3 projects that I have in organization right now. The cleanup Champarico, the beach cleanup in Champarico, cleanup Kathmandu, and the River Guardian, which would involve the River Guardians. And then on top of that, it would also be the infant charity organization in Uganda that at the moment does need funding and resources. You can find them on Instagram, Infant Angels Charity Organization on Instagram, based in Uganda. And you can contact their page directly, and then the director and founder of this organization will contact you within a short amount of time, and he will send you all of his documents, all of the national documents that he has that verifies and gives him credentials to have this children's center in Uganda. So that's a really passionate project that I'm focusing on, but at this moment it's just staying in contact with them, praying with them, and listening to their needs and figuring out what they might need. But also, one of the most important things for me at the moment is making connections, going to All Hands and Hearts, for instance, meeting other volunteers, other international volunteers who are willing to leave their countries in order to work in a remote or progressing area, underdeveloped area, in order to bring philanthropy and infrastructure into that area. So that's something I'm really excited about. So the beach cleanup in Champarico is another one that would be in conjunction with the river cleanups here in Kathmandu. So they're really, it's one project working with bodies of water and then trying to find out, okay, what's the equipment that we're going to need in order to clean these areas. For example, a beach cleanup involves different equipment and different strategies in order to clean up the sides of the beaches, whereas in the river here in Kathmandu, you would actually need equipment like waders and boots and everything, and bags as well in order, and nets in order to. Oh my God! Thank you so much. In order to, guys, this is really cool. This is a traditional thali set. Thank you so much. It involves rice, lentils, and cooked vegetables. Thank you so much. This is very kind. I wish that I could actually like, this is the kindness that you will find in Nepal, which is why I think that the quality of life needs to be fought for. The people here are so kind, so beautiful, so loving, that the best that we can do for each other as an international society is to take care of our planet, to take care of each other, to show camaraderie, to remind each other that we are brothers and sisters and that this planet is our home. And of course, we feed each other, we give each other shelter, we give each other support. And that is the most important thing for me with EarthThreads. EarthThreads to me means connection and networking and 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 supporting one another in such a way that we are able to make the changes that we need to see happen in the world, like cleaning up the rivers, like making sure that children don't grow up with sides of with the sides of the road being littered with trash, with stray dogs starving and living with injuries and diseases. Children, the children of Nepal, the children of Guatemala, the children of the earth deserve an area where they can feel that they can grow and develop and be themselves without having to avert or distract themselves from the issues of the world. I think that the youth is our solution, and that education initiatives will be the most important thing, which is why when I was in contact with Advanced Guatemala, they helped me get in contact. The volunteer coordinator, or the nonprofit projects coordinator, helped me while I was doing the Collares de Esperanza project with Hugs Hug It Forward, which does education initiatives in conjunction with nonprofit. So a big thing that I believe in stepping forward in progress for a developing country is the work of international nonprofit organizations within semi-government organizations. From what I understand, you have to be able to work with the government of the country that you're in, especially if you're an international entity. And then once you have the support of the local government, you can then start also communicating with the people and getting these ideas across. So for example, one of the volunteers and ecological enthusiasts that I've met here in Kathmandu wants to do video screening, showing different points of views and perspectives on ecological preservation for the community, for the public, outside of a government setting, but completely independent and nonprofit, seem lucrative. So what I find so passionate and so understanding within the people of Nepal is not only family and friendship, but also initiative. So with that, those were the quick updates. I am currently getting ready to go to the visa center, the Chinese visa center. Thank you. And I will also be working with several organizations in the next few years, trying to accomplish these projects, from Advanced Guatemala to Stay Lifted Nepal, I think it's what it's called. And yeah, so I'll try to stay as updated as I can while I'm on the move. And I really look forward to this private tutoring opportunity in China. And I'm very looking forward to seeing what this year's annual 2024 EarthThreads project is going to look like and who I'm going to be working with. And of course, from the bottom of my heart, I really hope that anything that I've said in presence or in the past is inspiring you to do the same thing, because that is what I hold dearest to my heart, to share what my experience is in the world, to externalize this experience that I've had internally by bringing progress not only into my life personally, but then sharing that at the moment verbally, but also in the initiative and in the projects that I do, is what my life is dedicated to. And I really hope that in the near future, if you're watching this, you get in contact with me. Follow me on YouTube. Honestly, that's one of the #1 channels at the moment that I'm staying in contact with via live streaming. Also, Instagram is another contact point for me. It's at camila.a.wilson. And of course, you can find me on Facebook at EarthThreads International. I have a Meta Business Suite page now, so I post all of these live streams and everything on there. So with that, peace and love, everybody. Namaste, and keep your mind on the positive. Yeah.